Hi and welcome back to my static life. Now, if you was at the caravan last week, I do not envy you because it must have been freezing cold as winter finally kicked in. And I tell you what would have made it even worse, knowing the fact that Parkdean have just raised the gas prices. That's the last thing you want when it's freezing outside and you're blasting through gas, knowing it's going to cost you even more money. So that's right, gas prices increased on the 1st of November. And we're going to look at why. On the 31st of October, they sent out an email saying that over the years they have absorbed the gas prices and they can no longer do it, and they're going to have to pass that cost on to us owners. Now, I think they're telling a big fib there about absorbing gas, and I'm going to tell you today the real reason they're increasing gas prices. So let's begin with looking what they've said and done. So they're claiming that for the last couple of years they've been absorbing gas prices, and I don't think they have. They've been steadily increasing the price pretty much year on year, right? Now the gas price has increased from £85 to 97, so that's an increase of £12 a bottle. Now I did a poll on a Parkdean owner's site to see roughly how many gas people were using. And on average, people were using between 2 and 4, which that equates to an extra £24 to £48 a year. Now, some people are probably going to go, so what? But so what indeed, right, when they're just constantly taking his pants down. And I don't think that this particular rise in gas is really necessary. So I've done a bit of digging about on the internet to find gas prices for, like, if you were to buy just one bottle for yourself for home, maybe if you've got a caravan at home. And you can generally find them for sale between £88 and 110. So that's on the steeper end, and it's more expensive than Parkdean. However, if you're on the East Coast, there is quite a big company that if you buy in bulk, it reduces your costs. So for instance, they're called East Coast bottles, by the way, and it's £83 for one bottle. So it's already cheaper than what Parkdean charge. If you get 10 bottles though, you're talking £78 a bottle, right? Now I know you're not going to get 10, but if you've got a lot of friends on site and you all need a new bottle, right, then it might be worthwhile chipping in. But you will need to check, because I don't know if we're actually allowed to buy bottles from another site, right? But 10 bottles, 78 quid. So that is a good saving per person. Now, I thought, right, how can I find out what bottles actually cost Parkdean? And without somebody on the inside, I don't know. But what I do know is my mum and my stepdad, they've got a caravan on a private site. And when I say private, it's run by the members of the site. It's in the middle of nowhere, the pitch fees are next to nothing, and it's done in a way that it's like a community type thing. And on there, I asked my mum, and they pay £66 a bottle. Now, she did point out that the site basically buys in bulk, and they get 100 bottles at a time, and that's why they get their bottles nearly half price compared to what we're paying. But hold on a minute, think about buying power. So they're a little small site that buys 100 bottles at a time. Parkdean has hundreds of sites all across the country. So you're telling me their buying power, they can't get it cheaper than that? 100% they can. I believe in reality they are probably paying around £50 a bottle, and then they are doubling it up and making, well, exactly that. They're doubling the money, right? But why are they doubling the money, Right? It's no coincidence that we got that email on the 31st of October, is it? No coincidence at all. Telling us that the prices rise from the 1st of November. Because that was the date of the budget. Now, I remember thinking at the time, watching the news, how will this affect me? How will it affect businesses? I mean, I'm only a small business, and it doesn't, from what they've said, doesn't massively affect me because I don't have any staff. But if you've got staff, believe over 5, then you've got to pay more national insurance contributions. So that's going up. They're also increasing capital gains, which means that the company's going to have to pay more on the profits, as well as national minimum wage is going up next year. Now, on the news, there was a company, a factory, and he said he got a couple of hundred employees, and he said this new change is going to add £250,000 to his annual bill. Now, if it's going to add £250,000 to his annual bill, how much is it going to add to Parkdean? Parkdean, in the height of the season, has over 9,000 members of staff. So if he's going to pay £250,000 for a couple of hundred members, how much is 9,000? So, what do? They simply find a way to cover it. And how do they cover it? They pass that cost on to us, the owners. So we're paying for this increase. And this is something that gets me go up with the government, is they've tried to do a budget that doesn't affect the common man. It doesn't affect workers. It doesn't affect people on the pensions. But it does. Because all these big businesses that they hit, they just pass the cost straight down to them at the bottom. So it's costing us an extra £48 a year because the government has basically increased the national insurance contributions that businesses have to pay. And do we think it's going to stop there? Probably not. I'm going to guess that next year the electric prices get sneaked up a little bit, and also the cost of beer in your club is going to probably go up. Is there any positive to all this doom and gloom? Yes, prices of certain things are going to be going up, right? Such as gas, such as maybe the beer in the club, right? In order to try and scrape back some of this money. But the fact is this year alone, Parkdean made a loss of £135 million. So what does that mean? Now that means that I think over the next couple of years, there's going to be some deals to be had. I can imagine you're going to see the cost of caravans coming down a little bit. I can see possibly pitch fees coming down a bit, all to attract more owners onto site. Also, I can imagine they're going to reduce the cost of a holiday to try and fill their sites up with holiday makers again. Because I don't know about you on your site, but this year felt a little bit empty, especially if you went in the club. That's all for today. Now, if you'd like a little bit more information on the average cost of running a caravan, check out this video here. Or maybe it's here. Anyway, goodbye for now.